ECHR 8, we don't have to feel threatened. And that is a communication that also comes under ECHR 8. So I'm going to have you report this as a crime, not an incident number, but as a crime. You've just witnessed that lady. This is our home. This is the FCA guidance on vulnerable persons.
You stand there a minute, darling.
I know the law.
What are you reporting?
We are being harassed and it's fraud. Action fraud. Do you want to see?
You said you spoke to Action Fraud before?
Yes, action fraud is a claim
So it's been reported?
and they do nothing about it, which is malfeasance. I've got paperwork in the court. So under liberty of the subject 1354, there's due process in hand. So they should not be serving that paperwork. That is harassment. And whoever that paperwork's come from, I want them done for harassment.
It's not a case of harassment.
Yes, it is a case of harassment. Do you want the
new paperwork?
No, it's harassment.
You can.
This is
say that.
This is a folder that our team put together. It's the establishment's mishandling of economic crime reports. Fraud is not handled properly. If you go back about 3 years ago, there was 190 billion recorded by City of London as fraud. Do you know how much was recovered?
No idea.
2.3 million. That is harassment. So Officer 14158. And so your name again?
Brown.
30799 Shonk.
So and can you spell your name?
SHONK.
Okay, right. What you can see, officers. Sorry, can I?
Yeah, sweet boss.
They had to give us notice.
What we got here. This is harassment.
Okay, this is.
I want a crime number.
Right.
I had paperwork in court. Yes, it is harassment under Article 8. Tell me why it isn't harassment under Article 8.
They're issuing you paperwork.
No, it's on fraudulent grounds. It's on fraudulent grounds.
Well, that's an issue for you to take up with them, not.
Well, we've taken it up, and yes, it is a criminal matter. Fraud is Party A deceives Party B for Party A's gain, Party B's loss, for the intended permanent loss of property. This is the property. Property can be money,
You've
intellectual.
reported the fraud.
Yes,
aspect.
but action fraud is part of the fraud. Action fraud is part of the cover-up. You've got a bloody flow chart there. I want this person. Look, they won't even put a name on it. This reference, UKM. Can you quote me Article 8?
Yeah, it's not.
Yes, why is it not? I'll tell you why it is.
Right.
You tell me why it isn't.
Harassment, they're not. There's no course of conduct to cause you harassment, alarm, distress.
So repossession is not harassment. That's
part of an ongoing
harm and distress.
But they're saying it's part of this ongoing investigation.
No, they're not saying it's an ongoing investigation.
Well,
this is fraud.
Clearly isn't it?
Do you know what this is? Do
ongoing for
you know what
some
this
time.
is?
What?
This is harassment. And your Kent Police.
When you've got paperwork in the court, and how can they say on there that they're not going to give us notice? They're just going to turn up. How can they do that?
Well,
we have a 14-year-old
that's their protocol.
No, it isn't. They have to go to court. They have to go to court, and they have to get that from a judge.
They have to give you a date.
I have to be allowed to attend, otherwise you don't get due process. That comes under liberty of the subject, 1354. It's common
I've not
law.
read the paperwork, so I don't.
What is
know.
your oath, officers? Quote me your oath.
We
Quote
do not
me
know-
your
we do not-
oath.
We do not know why we've been like what paperwork you've got today. Okay.
Quote me your oath.
We've come.
I'm
here
showing you the
to
paperwork.
Okay. Can I have a look at it?
Please do. This is a breach of my human rights. In the middle of your oath, it says you have to uphold fundamental human rights. Are you refusing to uphold your oath, officers?
No.
What are you talking about?
Refusing to uphold your oath, officers.
No.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about
Uphold
things you
our
don't
oath.
know.
Talking.
What is your
our
oath? What is your oath?
Yeah, right. I don't know it word for word, but
What is your oath?
effectively,
What is your oath?
Well,
I
I
know
don't-
what your oath is.
okay, that's great for you. I don't need to know
It's
it
not great
word
for me
word.
if you don't know it. So what is your oath?
Right, I don't know it word for word. Okay.
So what do you know?
Right, it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does matter. How
It
can you
doesn't-
uphold the law? How could you drive a car if you didn't have a driving licence?
Right,
How can you
don't need
uphold
to
the
know
law?
it word for word.
But
do
you have to know. You have to know your job.
Yes, and I know
How can you? No, you don't.
Our job is to
If you don't know
protect
your
the
oath,
public.
yes, and
Okay.
we are under threat.
That is our role.
We
okay?
are under threat. Your
This is-
role is
this
to
is
protect
a
the public.
role.
What is Article 8?
What relevance does that have to do with it?
Because your oath says.
What relevance does that have to do with it?
Because your oath says, I serve to His Majesty the King, and I will uphold fundamental human rights, and
Yeah.
I will not show bias. What is
Well,
your
I'm
oath?
not showing bias.
Well, you are, because
towards-
you're not taking this serious.
This is not a police.
Yes,
this
it is.
This
It's criminal.
It's not a police matter. If it's not a police
It's
matter,
criminal.
we won't be here then when they come to evict us.
It's criminal.
Our role is to prevent the breach of the peace, to prevent any issues.
No, your role isn't
occurring
just
on the
that.
day. No, but that's what we're here
No,
to do.
this is criminal. This is criminal.
That's why we're here.
This
to
is
prevent
criminal.
The breach of the peace. From
This
your
is criminal.
We didn't
Okay, if that's what you believe.
So I
then
want a
you need
crime
to-
number.
I don't believe that that is a crime. Believe.
So I
then
want a
you need
crime
to-
number.
I don't believe that that is a crime. They're issuing paperwork
Trace.
into.
Trace.
Not
Trace.
just that, right? One, there's paperwork in court. Two, that letter says that they're not going to give us a date. They're just going to turn up. That's not right because they have to give us a date.
Trace.
They're just going to turn up. I've got a 14-year-old boy.
Trace.
And I know what these people have been doing. And if they manhandle him, there will be chaos.
Trace. There will be a lot of people here on the day. You're going to have a lot of
We haven't got
aggro.
a date.
On the video on your phone.
I can't at the moment because I'm trying to wait for Gemma to get Grace because she's scared. And I've got to worry about her.
I mean, there's nothing for us to be
There's no-
scared
there's no
of.
reason-
Well,
We're
there
not-
is, because we live like this. This is fraud.
Well, we're not being remotely aggressive or.
You're not, but they are. The reason I'm agitated is because this is fraud. We have an application in the court. We're due process. The application I've got in the court includes paperwork. So can you hold that a sec?
The bank confirms that it will not commence eviction until after the 17th of June, being 14 days from the service of the order.
And there will be held
After
to pay.
17th of June, the bank will proceed to enforce the order without
won't.
further notice to
They
you.
won't. Where are you from? Ashford Police Station,
Yes,
Maidstone?
yeah.
Ashford. You've got liberty of the subject, 1354. That no man whatsoever should be put out of land or tenement, nor taken nor imprisoned, without being brought in answer in due process. This matter is still in court. That is a threat from the bank. and that is criminal. I can give you a lesson on fraud if you want. Comes under the 2006 Fraud Act. And then you apply the mens rea and you apply the actus rea, guilty mind, guilty act, and then you apply the Ivy test.
I mean, this has gone to court.
It's gone to court. It's in court. So therefore, it's liberty of the subject.
This is well above this. This is above us. Paperwork, and the court have said, ask them to come and deliver it.
I've got evidence here. Even on Priti Patel, and I will show you that. You have to have, in a crime, you've got to have knowledge of circumstance. You two have now got knowledge of circumstance. And if you do nothing about this, it's misfeasance. I know what the law is.
But this isn't. We've come.
But it is misfeasance. Misfeasance is when you don't do what you should be.
But how are we not doing what we should be?
Because I'm reporting a crime. I'm telling you, you don't know the law.
Well,
I advised government for 10 years.
You're saying that.
Why is it not?
Why
is it right?
It's gone to court.
It's in court.
The court have issued the paperwork.
No, it's in court.
Well,
there's an application went in September.
The paperwork here says that.
So the law of the land says there has to be due process under liberty of the subject, 1354.
Okay, but the court.
So we've not been back to court.
Well, the court have clearly issued the paperwork.
Well, the court are clearly wrong. That's fraud upon the court.
But then that's a court issue.
Lord Denning said in 1980. That if a civil judge breaks the law, they should be hauled into a criminal court. I'm quoting to you as police officers, you need to protect the public, and you're not willing to do that. You are refusing to do it because you don't know the law.
If
this is misfeasance.
Issued the paperwork to be sent to you, to be delivered to you, that's their obligation.
It's breaking the law. It's law of the land. So you're going to stick up for bent judges?
Well, I don't know all the ins and outs of the case, do we? So if a judge has made that call for the paperwork to be served to you,
then look, which bits of law do you want? I know your law. Do you want me to phone the police lawyer?
They have to give us a date.
Yes, they've got to take us back to court.
Why haven't they given us a date?
That. So what will happen on the day, there will be thugs come along as bailiffs, and then you guys will turn up and you'll see a bit of false paperwork and you'll say, oh, but a court's issued this, pathetically, because you don't know the law.
This is what happens.
Misfeasance, malfeasance, nonfeasance. Do you want me to quote you what the three are? Shall we see which category you fall in? Because I will take this further. And then I'll have you two in court. You've got a duty to follow this up and report it. This is under the Home Office counting rules. Are you familiar with those?
Yes.
Right. You've got to take this serious as a crime unless proven otherwise. And you're saying this is out of your remit. You've got to elevate this. I believe, is it Tim Smith, your Chief Constable?
Yeah.
I would say you need to raise this with him. And if you look on the internet, you'll see when I've been to the police crime panel meetings, Matthew Scott has run out of them. He's literally run out of the meeting twice. I know the law.